Thompson. How do you identify yourself?
I am white.
Okay. Identify yourself.
What identifier?
Race.
Oh, okay, white.
Oliver, how do you identify your race?
I identify as mixed.
How do you identify your race?
White?
Do you feel your race plays a big part of your life?
No.
May you explain why?
Because I think that, actually, I think that my race gives me advantages to certain opportunities compared to
What opportunities?
summer jobs and community service options.
Okay.
Such
Do you feel race plays a big part of your life?
Yes.
And why?
A lot of it's where I live, the general DC area, a lot of different racial groups. It's not a mono-racial setting that I'm usually in, so it's always there as a factor.
Thank you.
All right. How big of a role on a scale of 1 to 10 does race play into your life?
I'd say about a 3 or 4, not very big.
All right. How big of a role on a scale of 1 to 10 does race play in your life?
I wouldn't say it's that big a role for me, but for a lot of my fellow peers, it plays a big role, and that kind of impacts me.
Do you think your race affects your school life in GDS?
I do not.
Okay. Do you think your race affects how you teach in GDS?
Yes.
How do you think your race affects your school life in GDS?
I don't think it really affects it at all. Yeah.
Do you think your race affects your school life in GDS?
A little bit. Like, most of my friends, just by coincidence, are white. It's just the way it is. I don't think that GDS is as diverse as they say, and that kind of annoys me. It's just one of those things. That's my opinion.
Do you think your race has a positive, negative, or neutral connotations?
I think it has neutral connotations in school life.
Okay. In school life, but what about in the real world?
I think in the real world, it gives me a positive edge. It's because like there have been studies where white people get better opportunities than those of different races, and I think that could easily apply to myself.
Do you think your race has positive, negative, or neutral connotations?
Probably has negative connotations.
Why? Because you would be the first person to actually say this today.
Really? Race is unavoidable. So a lot of people will be making their judgments maybe even before their conscious mind. Some of those judgments are in place by the time you've run into somebody and had an interaction. So yeah, that's probably one of the toughest things to get around the prejudgment on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think your race has positive, negative, or neutral connotations?
I'd say in between neutral and positive.
And why would you say that?
Because I guess being mixed doesn't really have any negative connotations because there's no like real history behind that. Yeah.
All right. Do you think your race has positive, negative, or neutral connotations?
Both. I mean, there's definitely some positive connotations as what call like this superior race, but then at the same time that backfires sometimes when people make comments, oh, you're white, you can't do that or say that.
Mm-hmm.
Final question. Do you think your race affects how you act around your friends?
I think for my friends of different color, possibly, but not around my friends of the same race.
Well, can you take that in friends in whole instead of...
I would have to say in whole, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. your race affects how you act around your friends or fellow coworkers?
No, I don't really think it affects coworker relationships that much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you think that a diversity that GDS tries to bring in affects how you teach?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that whole notion of trying to have people exposed to differences from themselves on, like, more than just race, but a bunch of levels, really does drive the foundation of school.
Do you think your race affects how you act around your friends?
No.
Do you think your race? Oh, that question was repeated twice. Okay, thanks, Oliver. Do you think your race affects how you act around your friends?
No, not really.
All right, thanks, Oliver.